Hello, welcome to our channel, and today we are going to talk to you about Genghis Khan, who suffered a lot as a child and reigned as a cruel emperor of this world. During his reign, about 40 million people have been massacred. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel before talking about many unknown facts about Genghis Khan. Press the bell icon to get notified when videos related to such important information are posted. Genghis is not his real name. The man who would become the Great Khan of the Mongols was born around 1162 along the banks of the Onan River, and was originally named Temujin, meaning blacksmith. He did not receive the honorific title of Genghis Khan until 1206, when he was proclaimed leader of the Mongols at a tribal meeting known as the Kurultai. Khan is a traditional title meaning ruler, and historians are still researching the origins of Genghis. He had a rough childhood. From an early age, Genghis was forced to fight the brutality of life on the Mongolian tribe's survival. Rival Tatars poisoned Genghis' father at the age of 9, and his family was later ostracized by his own tribe. His mother abandoned him because it was difficult to raise her 7 children alone. Genghis was raised to survive by hunting and foraging, and as a teenager he may have even killed his own half-brother in a dispute over food. During his teenage years, rival tribes kidnapped both him and his young wife, and Genghis spent time as a captive of the tribe before making a daring escape. Despite all these difficulties, by the age of 20 he had established himself as a mighty warrior and leader. After amassing an army of supporters, he began to form alliances with the chiefs of important tribes. By 1206 he had successfully united the steppe confederations under his banner, and began to focus on external conquests. There is no exact record of what he looked like. For such a powerful figure, very little is known about Genghis Khan's personal life or his physical appearance. No contemporary portraits or sculptures of him survive, and the little information historians have is often contradictory or unreliable. Many people describe him as tall and strong, with bushy hair and a long bushy beard. Perhaps the most startling description comes courtesy of the 14th century Persian chronicler Rashid al-Din. He claimed that Genghis had red hair and green eyes. Al-Din's statement is doubtful. He never met Khan in person. But these distinctive features are heard among ethnically diverse Mongolians. Some of his most trusted generals were former enemies. The Great Khan had a keen eye for talent, and he generally promoted his officers on the basis of merit and experience rather than class, lineage, or past loyalties. One famous example of this belief in merit becomes after his horse was shot with an arrow in 1201 in battle against the rival Tajik tribe. When he later addressed the Tajik prisoners and demanded to know who was responsible, one soldier bravely stood up and admitted to being the shooter. Moved by the archer's bravery, Genghis made him an officer in his army and later nicknamed him Jib, or the Arrow, in honor of their first encounter on the battlefield. Along with the famous general Subutai, Jib became one of the Mongols' greatest field commanders during their conquests in Asia and Europe. He rarely scored nervously. Genghis Khan often offered other kingdoms a chance to submit peacefully to Mongol rule, but he did not hesitate to put any opposing societies to the sword. One of his most famous acts of revenge came in 1219, after the Shah of the Khwarezmid Empire broke a treaty with the Mongols. Genghis Shah was given a valuable trade agreement to exchange goods along the Silk Road. But when his ambassadors were killed, the enraged Khan responded by unleashing the full might of his Mongol forces on the Khwarezmid territories of Persia. The ensuing war killed millions, and completely destroyed the Shah's empire. But Khan didn't stop there. He followed up his victory by returning to the east. After defeating the Tangut forces and sacking their capital at war with the Tanguts of Xixia, a group of Mongol vassals who refused his orders to provide troops for the invasion of Khwarizm, the Great Khan ordered the execution of the entire Tangut royal family, as punishment for their defiance. He was responsible for the deaths of about 40 million people. Although it is not known exactly how many people died during the Mongol invasions, most historians put the number at around 40 million. Medieval censuses show that China's population fell by tens of millions during Khan's lifetime. Scholars estimate that he may have killed 3/4 of the population of modern-day Iran during his war with the Khwarezmid Empire. All told, the Mongol invasions may have reduced the total world population by about 11%. He began to respect different religions. Unlike many empire builders, Genghis Khan embraced the diversity of his newly conquered territories. He passed laws declaring religious freedom for all, and even granted tax exemptions to places of worship. This tolerance had a political side. Khan knew that happy subjects were less likely to rebel. But the Mongols also had an exceptionally liberal attitude towards religion. While Genghis and many others subscribed to a shamanistic belief system that revered spirits of the sky, wind, and mountains, the steppe peoples were a diverse bunch that included Nestorian Christians, Buddhists, Muslims, and other hostile traditions. The Maha Khan also took a personal interest in spirituality. He was known to pray in his tent for days before important campaigns, and he often met with various religious leaders to discuss the details of their faith. In his old age, he even invited the Taoist leader Qiu Chuji to his camp, and the pair are said to have had long conversations about immortality and philosophy. No one knows how he died or where he was buried. Of all the mysteries surrounding Khan's life, one of the most well-known is how it ended. The traditional narrative states that he died in 1227, from injuries sustained from a fall from a horse, but other sources state that malaria developed, and an arrow wound to the knee was more serious. One of the more questionable claims is that he was killed by the same men while trying to force himself on a Chinese princess. Although he died, Khan took great pains to keep his grave a secret. According to legend, his funeral procession killed all who came in contact with them, and the tomb is often said to be on or near a Mongolian mountain called Barkam Kaldan, but its exact location is still unknown. The Soviets tried to extort his memory in Mongolia. Genghis Khan is now considered a national hero and founding father of Mongolia. But during the Soviet rule in the 20th century, it was forbidden to mention his name. The Soviets, hoping to eliminate all traces of Mongolian nationalism, tried to suppress Khan's memory. His story was removed from school textbooks, and people were banned from making pilgrimages to his birthplace, Kentiai. Genghis Khan was finally restored to Mongolian history after the country won independence in the early 1990s, and has since become a recurring motif in art and popular culture. The Great Khan gives his name to the nation's main airport in the city of Ulaanbaatar, and his portrait even appears on Mongolian currency. We believe that you have learned a lot of unknown information about Genghis Khan. In addition, let us know if you have any information. Comment your thoughts and suggestions below. Share the information of this video with your friends. Have a nice day and see you in a new video with important information like this.